What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's episodes. I'll be breaking down why Xbox should buy Bethesda Studios. But before I do that, please hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I make a video. So guys, let's get into this. For those who are not in the know, a couple of months back there was a rumor that came out that Bethesda was trying to sell itself in the near future. And now that we look on today's time, Bethesda is now coming out with this new, Battle Pass on top of the already controversial Fallout first. And to me, it's trending towards a direction where Bethesda, no matter what their reputation, they are trying to line their pockets up and try to make as much money as possible, looking like they're trying to squeeze everything they can out of the Fallout 76 IP and not changing direction and trying to build up better reputation with the fans. It all smells to me like they are trying to get as much as they can and are trying to get themselves up to sale. I think the owner has had enough with the gaming industry. He has his own history, and I think he's ready to cash out and sell Bethesda. And I know a skeptical person would ask, why would Xbox spend probably close to $1 billion or over $1 billion buying Bethesda, when for the past 2 years they have been strongly building up their first party studios to lead Xbox in a new direction during the Xbox Series X era. And I think to really answer that question, we have to look at what Bethesda is bringing to the table whoever purchases them. First, their leading studio, the studio that everybody knows, Bethesda Studios, which are currently in development of their new IP Starfield, which whichever year it comes out is going to be the top selling RPG. Then you have Elder Scrolls 6, which is whatever year it comes out is going to be the best selling game that year. It's pretty much would be the seller for whoever wants to buy it. That's the reason why, probably mainly, that anybody want to buy Bethesda outside of Fallout and those other franchises is to get their hands on this historic franchise. But then you also have Fallout 5 that will also be layered in that pipeline. So between this one studio, you have 3 big games which could probably recoup all the costs of buying Bethesda alone. And then we're not talking about if they get sequels to Starfield or get sequels to Elder Scrolls, which is probably 100% going to happen in the next 20 years. Elder Scrolls 7, Fallout 5 and 6, and any Fallout spin-offs that come in the future, they own that. Xbox will own that, and they can add it to their first party collection. Then when we get to ID Software, these geniuses down here who have pretty much mastered the first person shooting genre with Doom and Doom Eternal, they will probably gonna have a new IP. Then they have a close relationship with Avalanche Studios, the people who made Just Cause and Rage 2 with their Apex engine. The game from a technical standpoint was genius, even though it kind of fell short. But with ID Software's quality and with their close to the connections to that company, they could really make something special come out of it. So then you have Machine Games, who makes the Wolfenstein games, who are probably gonna have another new IP. And then you get Wolfenstein 3 on top of that. These guys, for it being exclusive, right? These are big time games that will be coming to Xbox only and would be able to utilize the next gen technology of the Xbox Series S and X. Then we have Arcane Studios, which is currently working on Deathloop and any other games that come out after that, which could be Prey 2, it could be another Dishonored game, even though I think that franchise is ended. It could be anything. So bringing that stealth team that were really, they mainly work on stealth, bringing them in would fit nicely into Xbox Game Pass and the many variety of games they want to bring to that platform. Then we have Tango Games currently making Ghostwire, and they would potentially get Evil Within 3, which will come down the line. So you get a great horror studio, which greatly fills out Game Pass also. Then you get ZeniMax Online, whatever next game they do, which could probably be an exclusive Elder Scrolls Online 2, or they could just keep doing Elder Scrolls Online. It really doesn't matter. But you get them, and that is a lot to be getting. A lot of quality studios that made great games and a lot of profit. I'm just gonna say that much. And then when we look at, in conjunction with Xbox Studios, we gotta look, they got 343, which is gonna make Halo and then probably make a new IP after that. Compulsion Studios, they are making We Happy Few. Exile, that's making Wastelanders 3 and any other new IP for the Xbox Series X. Ninja Theory, that's probably going to make Hellblade 2 and is rumored to have a side game new IP in the works. Then you have Obsidian Games, which you could reunite with a spin-off Fallout game, or potentially Fallout New Vegas, which has been heralded as one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Personally, my favorite RPG of all time. That could get a remake or remaster since you reconnect the creators of Fallout with their IP. Then on top of that, you have the Outer Worlds and any other new project that this great studio can come up with. Then on top of that, you have Playground Games, to be announced RPG, which we all know is going to be one of the big games coming to Xbox Studios. Then you have Rare Games, which can provide Sea of Thieves and a host of other content like Everwild to the Xbox Game Pass, which will be great for their content offerings. Then on top of that, they got Killer Instinct that could come in the near future, filling out kind of the fighting game genre for that platform. Also, you have the Coalition that are probably going to come out with their new IP, or Gear 6. Then you have the Initiative, which is probably going to make Fable and probably going to be their big RPG for next year or the year after. Then you have Turn 10, the makers of Forza. And last but not least, Undead Labs that made the State of Decay franchise, which are probably going to make a new IP zombie game in the future. And when you stack that on top of buying Bethesda, basically Xbox would beat PlayStation, not only exclusives, but the amount of exclusives they can produce for their service and still retain the great quality of these games. And that is what Xbox is lacking right now. Even though they have a lot of great first party studios, I think adding Bethesda on top of that would just make them pretty much unstoppable, not only for now in the short term, but in the long term, as far as having big IPs, those studios having their big new IPs. And not to mention, for any of these studios, they could be making 2 games at a time, and it would just constantly be able to fill out the Game Pass and also be able to provide quality and quantity together in tandem, which would make a huge advantage for Xbox over PlayStation going into the next gen and onward. And you're probably thinking, hey, this is basically a slam dunk. Xbox can just buy this easily with no competition. I think anybody would think that, seeing as I listed off how perfectly the studios match together and how Xbox will be able to benefit Bethesda and vice versa. But there is also another contender in the ring for Bethesda Studios, and that is, unfortunately, Activision. Look, when you look at Activision, the only thing they have going for them right now is Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty is going to work, but in the off chance that Call of Duty does not financially cut it for them, what can they lean on? Look at all their assets. I mean, they pretty much tore up Overwatch. I'm pretty sure Overwatch 2 is not going to be a success. The IP has tanked. So now Activision is in the position, okay, we have all this money from Modern Warfare and its Battle Royale. What can we do to help us stay flexible? And you better believe they're looking at Skyrim. They're looking at Fallout. They're looking at all these games that will help them stay flexible. And for us as consumers, we all know what they do to games, and we would not want them to be in the hands of Activision, knowing what they could do to any number of these studios and franchises, and basically we'll only be buying it for Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 to basically make themselves Bethesda 2.0, or really their Fallout 76 vision for the future. And that's why Xbox has to get a hold of this, because I think they would do the best with these franchises in conjunction with the studios they already have. And you're probably thinking, now it's a 2-man race. Who would be the third in this unlikely war for Bethesda Studios? Now, I know this is going to sound like I'm coming out of right field, but if you really think about it, this person or this company would be in the race for Bethesda, and it is Tim Sweeney and Epic. Think about it, they've made the most money out of any studio. They've launched a whole storefront, and Fortnite is still one of the top watched and money making games right now. But eventually, they have to look at their future. Fortnite's not going to be popular forever, and who knows if they're going to be able to jump on the trend or be the next big money making game whenever the next trend pops up other than Battle Royale. And you have to look at them and say, hey, this studio is up for grabs. We got the money. We could match Activision and Xbox's money and be able to make ourselves stable. Now, I know they're also making money off the Unreal 5 engine, but think about it. If they're able to get a hold of Bethesda, not only do they have these studios and they become more stable over long periods of time, once Fortnite's hype climbs down, which it eventually will, whether it takes 2, 4 to 6 years, it is going to not die out but slow down in popularity, and Epic will need something to fall back on, and they can fall back on these studios that make top tier quality games, and it would work great at kind of like subpar promoting their Unreal Engine 5. Could you imagine a Fallout game in the Unreal 5 engine, or any number of these games in the Unreal 5 engine? This could really set Epic apart from everybody else. But to bring it back home, I like Epic, but I don't think they would have the effect of buying this. It would basically be one owner going to another one. It would be neutral. Like, Epic would do great stuff with these games. They probably let Bethesda keep their name and normally how they operate as if nothing happened, and they would have the unlimited Tim Sweeney cash. But I think to have the biggest changing effect in the industry, I think Xbox buying them would just turn the generation around for them. It would mark a new age where Xbox would be back on top, not only in quality but quantity, and with the best deals in Game Pass, truly taking over where PlayStation 4 conquered, and bring it back to Xbox, maybe not only this generation but next generation, and probably permanently with the acquisition of these 7 great studios. But guys, this has been the best Gojira in gaming. If you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, so you get a notification every time I make a video, and I will see you guys next time.